I'm redeeming American Express credit card points for flights to Mexico for a short vacation. When I looked up flights from my home airport, tickets were extremely expensive to go to the popular tourist destinations like Cancun, Tulum, and Cozumel. I'm talking about $1,500 for my wife and I to make round-trip economy flights. But I still wanted to go on this trip, so instead of using cash out of my bank account, I'm using American Express credit card points. So in this video, I'll share with you how I booked American Airlines flights through the Alaska Airlines website with American Express points. And of course, I want you to learn how to do the same so that you can save points and dollars on your next trip. So before we actually book this flight in the second half of this video, we have to answer two questions. First, why am I using the Alaska Airlines website? And number two, why am I using Amex points? So let's answer the Alaska Airlines part first. My wife and I were looking for a trip to Mexico, either Cancun, Tulum, or Cozumel, and we found a route that we wanted to take. Our home airport from Phoenix through Dallas-Fort Worth with a layover and then on to Cozumel. We were thinking, well, this is an American Airlines flight and there's really no other option to take. I could have flown United Airlines, but there was a long layover with that, and so we figured the best option is to book this American Airlines flight. And then the cash price, yes, it was pretty expensive, almost $1,500, and so we figured, well, we don't actually have American Airlines points because they are so hard to earn, especially if we're talking about earning them from credit cards. The fastest way to earn credit card points is by usually applying for Chase cards, Amex cards, Capital One cards, and then using the points that you earn from those cards to transfer out to travel partners to find the most amount of value. This could look something like applying for the Chase Sapphire Preferred, and then once you spend $4,000 on this card in the first 3 months, you earn 60,000 bonus points, and then you can use that to transfer out to partners like United Airlines. Or it could be something like applying for the American Express Platinum card, and then once you meet the minimum spend requirement of $8,000 in the first 6 months, then you can get 80,000 bonus points or sometimes even higher than that, and then you can transfer those points out to partners like Delta Airlines. Those are just a couple ways where you could transfer out your credit card points to domestic airlines, but when it comes to American Airlines, they don't partner with any major bank, and so you can't easily earn points on credit cards and then transfer them out to American Airlines. So I'm sitting at under 1,000 American Airlines points in my account. So if I was only looking to book this flight on the American Airlines website, well, I would either be paying the cash price of $1,500 or not taking this trip. But I wanted to take the trip, so I had to look for other alternatives. I know that American Airlines is in the One World Alliance, which means that they are partners with a ton of other airlines around the world. Some of these partners include British Airways, Japan Airlines, and Qatar Airways. And occasionally, some of these partner airlines have award availability for American Airlines flights. So sometimes you can go through the British Airways website or Qatar Airways website and book American Airlines flights right there. And this would be pretty easy to do so because cards from banks like Chase, American Express, and Capital One can all transfer over to British Airways to make that trip happen. So this is the typical way that you may look to book American Airlines flights, but there was a big problem. I looked at all of these reliable sites that I've used in the past to book American Airlines flights, like British Airways, Qantas. I've looked at Qatar Airways, but the specific flight that I wanted from my home airport to Mexico and back was not on any of these websites. When I looked at all of the One World partners, the only partner that had it was Alaska Airlines. So because I don't have American Airlines miles, the only way I could book this flight with points is through the Alaska Airlines website. And that brings us to point number two on why American Express. First up, the big problem is that you can't really earn Alaska Airlines miles with any major bank. You can't earn currencies like Chase Ultimate Rewards points or Amex membership rewards points and then transfer them directly to Alaska Airlines. The only way you can transfer your credit card points over to Alaska is through Bilt. But Bilt is really difficult to earn a ton of miles really quickly, and so that just was not an option for me. And so I had to find a different way. As of the end of 2024, when I'm filming this video, you can transfer your American Express points over to Hawaiian Airlines And then because Hawaiian is merging with Alaska Airlines, you can actually take your Hawaiian Airlines miles, and right now you can transfer them over to Alaska miles. And so basically you can transfer your American Express points over to Alaska with a step in between. Now, before you watch me book this flight, I figured that I would tell you how to earn American Express membership rewards points, because you could go with a personal option like the green, gold, or platinum card and earn membership rewards points, or you could go the business route with something like the Blue Business Plus or the Business Green, Business Gold, and Business Platinum, and then you can earn points in a variety of ways. The number one way that I would recommend is earning welcome offers, and this would come with applying for a new card, getting approved, and then hitting the minimum spend requirement that you need in the certain amount of months, either 3 or 6 months, and then you earn a huge stash of membership rewards points. If you're excited about applying for a new American Express card, I do have links in the description, and those are referral links. They will help support the channel in a huge way to help me make more videos. And now we're on to booking this flight, and we have to start off with the American Express transfer partner page, find the Hawaiian Airlines section, and then we're gonna transfer over our Amex points to Hawaiian. For my situation, these flights were gonna cost 50,000 Alaska Airlines miles, but I already had 8,000 miles in my account, so I needed to transfer over 42,000 American Express points. And you will see a note at the bottom there that there is going to be a small fee for transferring our Amex points to Hawaiian, and this fee is going to come when you transfer your Amex points over to domestic airlines, so those that have headquarters in the United States. After verifying my identity, the points transfer is through 42,000 Hawaiian miles are now going to be in my account, and then paying the $25.20 fee. After logging into the Hawaiian Airlines website, I can see that the points transfer was instant. Right away, it went from 0 miles to 42,000. And then, of course, we are going to transfer out these points immediately to Alaska Airlines. Now we have to go to the specific website that allows us to transfer between Hawaiian and Alaskan. This website's kind of hard to find, so we'll also have that link in the description if you want to use it. So I'm right here on the website. I'm going to select mileage plan because that's the points currency I want to transfer into. Now we can select our 42,000 Hawaiian miles going to Alaska, and then confirmation, click transfer, and now we just wait for that transfer to process. And it actually looks like that it transferred instantly. So right away, we can see that these miles are in my Alaska account. I know that not every transfer is going to be instant, but for my situation, it was. So for the first flight, I'm waking up bright and early and taking a flight at 5 a.m. to have a layover in Dallas and then on to Cozumel. But that's okay because I am more worried about arriving in Cozumel as early as possible because I'm booking an all-inclusive. So I'd rather get there early and then have a nice dinner before I go to bed. So waking up for a 5 a.m. flight, that's okay with me. And then you can see to the right side of the screen that there are taxes and fees associated with this. So for 2 people, it's going to be 25,000 Alaska miles for this first flight, and then $109.10 for the fees. And a big chunk of that is going to be the Mexico tourism tax. That's just what they charge. I've noticed they do this in airports that are really popular for tourists to go to, and so they charge extra fees for that. But if you're probably flying somewhere else, you won't have that. And then for the second flight, 4 days later, when we're returning to the United States, the taxes and fees are going to be a little bit higher than the first trip, but we're still being charged the 25,000 Alaska Airlines miles total for the 2 of us. And so yeah, there's those US custom fees, and then the Mexico tourism fee is also higher. So it turns out it's going to cost us $208.70 in fees, which is a lot. This is not going to happen with many other award bookings, but it's just the price we pay for going to a tourist area of Mexico. And now that they are purchased, we can log on to the American Airlines website and then put in our confirmation code, and we can see our itinerary right there. And usually when you're doing some partner award bookings, you might want to put in some additional information. So on the American Airlines website, I'm going to go put in my TSA PreCheck number and global entry number so that I get TSA PreCheck on the way to Mexico, And then on the way back from Mexico, I don't have to wait in the long customs and immigration line. I can just go to the global entry kiosk and then be through immigration in about 15 seconds. And because when I'm booking this award flight, I'm actually booking into American Airlines main cabin, not basic economy. So I get to select my seats for $0. And because a lot of people care about these cents per point that I'm getting for this trip, let's break that down. So basically the formula that you'll use for cents per point is cents that you would have paid for this flight minus the taxes and fees that you have to pay for using points, and then divide that by the total points cost. So the tickets for this round trip, I looked at main cabin, and that was going to be $1,764. You could go back and use that $1,500 number that I found on Google Flights, but because that was the numbers for basic economy, I figured I'd use the numbers for the actual class of service that I paid for with points. So for the first one way, that's $1,764 divided by 2 because that was the round trip cost, and then the taxes and fees that I paid, $109.10. And then I also decided to add in the little fee that I had to pay for transferring my Amex points over to Hawaiian, and so got to divide that by 2 as well. And so it's kind of confusing, but you multiply all of that by 100 because that was the dollars that I paid, and now we're finding out the cents, so multiply by 100, and then you divide that by the total points cost of 25,000, and you come out to a valuation of 3.04 cents per point. That's pretty good for economy tickets. And then for the one way on the way back, we'll keep this a little bit shorter. Here's all the numbers, and then divide that by the 25,000 points, and that comes out to a valuation of 2.64 cents per point. Also really, really good. And so a total cents per point of 2.89. So I will definitely take that for my American Express points, and that's why Alaska Airlines is super valuable, and I want to get as many Alaska Airlines miles, as much of that as possible, so I might end up transferring more Amex points over to Alaska, even if I don't have a specific booking in mind. Especially when you factor in that this transfer over to Alaska from American Express might not last forever. And if you're interested in earning some more American Express points, I just recently made a video about my 2-year review of holding the American Express Platinum card. You can watch that right there. And if you want to redeem your points or learn how to do that more often, you can click on this video where I redeemed some American Express points for a business class flight home from Japan. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.